had in my entire life. Like, there was cancer in the family. People were in hospital. I thought I was gonna, at one stage, I thought I was gonna lose my partner. Like, just wasn't a pleasant scenario at all. And by losing my partner, I mean, like, hospitalization, like really not, like from really bad health issues. And, there were just times when I promise you I wanted to give up. And sometimes I actually, when I say that, I don't just mean give up in business. Like for me, when I hired Russell, it really was like it sounds really dramatic, but my life's mission, it's so big. Like, I really, really, really wanted to connect with someone who could get me to the next level, who could help me really get from that really stranded, grounded place, sitting at my office every single day, to a place where I'm, helping like people all around the world. And that's why I chose Russell. But man, it was hard. It was really, really, really hard at times to have to deal with those things that come up in your personal life all the time. Like, it was not an easy scenario in 2014, but I'm really, really, really grateful that I listened to Russell. I'm really grateful that I hired him as a coach. Like, the man has changed my life forever. Like, once you're, like, my mind has been blown completely, and there's no way back. Like, I know that anything is possible now.
So I go to this Tony Robbins event like 12 months ago, and I'm rocking the house, like things are going crazy. The event completely changed my life because I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. And the third day, the last day I was there, Transformation Day, which is like, you're already on this crazy high from Tony Robbins. Like, you walked on fire and you're like, yes, yes. And I go to the water fountain and I meet this guy for like 2 minutes, and it was just a strange passing, like nothing was serious about it. And I got his name and I got his number. And after the event, when I'm driving home, I actually get a call from this guy that I'd met for 2 minutes, and he goes, "Hey Mike, it's Matthew from the water fountain." I'm like, "Matthew from the water fountain?" And he goes, "I met you, Tony Robbins." I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, what's up, man?" And he was like, "Listen, I know you're driving back to Tampa, because that's where I live." He's like, "I know you're driving back to Tampa. Let me get a ride with you." And I was like, no. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I pulled into a gas station and I waited for him for like 20 minutes to meet me so I can give him a ride. And as we were driving back up to Tampa, we started talking about the event, and we were excited. And he's telling me about his past, because I didn't know this guy. And he starts telling me about this thing that he's super into, which is called internet marketing. And at this time, I had no idea what internet marketing was. We started talking about building businesses and just painting this whole future, and we were still on fire from Tony. So I drop him off and nothing really comes of it. But like a week later, I get a call from Matthew again. And he's like, "Mike," he's like, "I'm doing this thing, Inner Circle Mastermind. You gotta call this number. I'm gonna text it to you. You gotta call this number and talk to this guy. He's gonna tell you all about it. But I'm doing it, I'm in, and you have to do it with me. You have to promise you." I'm like, "Okay, dude, I'll do it with you, whatever." And I call this guy, and I start talking to him, and he tells me about this program called the Inner Circle Mastermind, and you team up with this guy named Russell Brunson, who's this internet marketing guru, and he's changed all these people's lives. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. I don't know what internet marketing is, I talked about it in a car for 3 hours. I talked to this guy who was telling me about this program. He's like, "Mike," and he sells me on. He's like, "You're learning this. You're gonna build businesses. You're gonna drive traffic." And I'm like, "This sounds really cool. You're gonna make a lot of money. And by the way, your buddy's doing it with you." And I was like, "Cool, fun." He's like, "All right, so the program costs," he told me that the cost of the program, he said it was $25,000. And I was like, and at this time, I had just dropped out of college, and I took all my money from my college fund and was gonna live off it for the year. Because I dropped out of college and I moved to Tampa. Like, I moved across the country to Tampa, and I only had $28,000 in the bank. And so my plan was to get a job, to kind of figure out my life, to just kind of figure it out. And I had no intention of spending $25,000 on a program. I'm like, all right, well that sounds good. Like, I gotta talk to Matthew before I make any decisions. So I hang up with this guy, I call Matthew, and I'm like, "Dude, this program is $25,000. Are you kidding me?" Like, an Inner Circle Mastermind? He's like, trust me, Russell knows everything about internet marketing. Like, don't worry. Like, I'm doing it with you. We're gonna crush it together. We're gonna build business. Mike, this is the dreams we talked about with the car. So I'm like, all right, man, like 25, I can't, no, this doesn't go past me and you. My dad's gonna freaking hate me. he's like, don't worry, just sign over there, just give him the check and we'll be good. So I call this guy back, I write a check for $25,000. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I send it to him, and I'm pumped up. I'm like, oh, going to Boise in a month, because that was when the event was, and I call Matthew back. I'm like, Matthew, I'm in, I bought it, let's do it. Like, it's rock, come over and let's plan out our trip. And he goes, dude, that's so awesome, I'm not doing the program. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm not doing it, like, I don't have the money for it. I'm thinking like, what, dude? Like, I just bought this program for $25,000, you're not gonna do it? So I was sitting in my room like, I gotta return this program, I'm freaking out. Only got $3,000 for a whole year. I don't know what internet marketing is. So I fly out, and I'm there for a couple days, and in that process, I had learned more about internet marketing than I felt like. It was like a waterfall of information. And I took that, and over the last 8 months, I mean, just to credit it, last week I made more in one check last week than I've made all last year. Doing the traditional building business or working a job, I made more in that week. So Matthew calls me up like 3 weeks ago. I'm starting to make money, I'm doing good. Matthew calls me up and he's like, Mike, dude, how are you doing? I'm like, great. I've been in Russell's mastermind. Thanks, by the way. And he's like, oh, that's awesome, man. Listen, I needed some help. I'm really stuck. And I could just sense on the phone like he was just struggling, right? And what's crazy is like, cause me and him were in the car like less than a year ago talking about building businesses online. And we were both had these visions and these plans, and I'm like hitting all the goals that I was talking about in the car. Like my first 5-figure check in a week, done. Being able to help pay my parents, being able to really give back to the people I care about. And I'm doing all these things that I was telling him about, and he hasn't moved at all. He's still in the exact same place. And some people might even think he's regressing, but he's in the exact same place. And what shocked me was like, I was like, Matthew, dude, you just should have joined the program with me. Like, you're in the place that we were at a year ago. And I'm talking about, I'm living the things that we were talking about. For the people who are thinking about signing up with the program or joining the mastermind or the Ignite program, then I think that if you look at my story, someone who 8 months ago didn't know anything about internet marketing, anything at all, to now traveling the world, hanging out with people from all types of internet backgrounds, making a good living for myself. There's no reason that anyone couldn't do this if you teamed up with the right group. And that's what the mastermind did for me. It got me around people who were thinking on a different level than me. Because it's not like functionally it's hard, right? Technically it's not hard with the programs that we have today and with all the resources that we have. But you have to believe that you can do it. And the only way that I was able to do that was by just getting off the phone with Russell's guys and saying, all right, like, I believe that you can take me where I want to go. Like, I have faith that this program is going to elevate my thinking. And that is what everyone needs to do. And that's why everyone needs this program. Everyone needs to come out to Boise, and everyone needs to hang out in the mastermind. It's the greatest decision anyone could make, hands down.
So we've been married for 11 years now.
11 and a half.
And this guy is awesome, but he's like a crazy entrepreneur guy. And so he always has all these ideas, and some of them are amazing, and some of them are like crazy. And we've been doing real estate for about 9 years now, and we've done really well there, and we've systematized that. And he got to where he had a lot of free time, and we've always worked together. And there was this problem where I'd be doing things around the house, and he's like following me around, and I'm like, you need to find something to do.
Whoa, come on. It wasn't that bad.
And so he started to hear kind of about online marketing. We always knew that if we could get online or learn how to market online, and how we could kind of open up our world to other things besides just the real estate, because as we love real estate, it can also be risky. And so we kind of wanted to mitigate some of that risk and kind of go into some different areas. And so we started to hear, this guy, Russell Brunson, and we hear his name everywhere we go. We're like, who is this Russell guy? And I think you went on like a binge of checking out podcasts. And
Yeah, someone told me about one of his podcasts, and as I'm coming home from Tampa and layovers and just listened to I think 80 podcasts. Maybe that's exaggerating, but listened to a lot of podcasts on the way home and just thought it was amazing. But then at the same time, I heard him talking about funnels, and then someone else was telling me about a funnel, and So we went and hired this guy to help us create a funnel, because we had been doing online marketing for about a year, just over a year at the time, but we had some struggles and we thought it was gonna be a lot easier than it was, right? Yeah. And our message just wasn't getting out there. We weren't finding the people we wanted. So we found this guy who was gonna create this funnel, and we didn't even know what a funnel was before that, right?
No, we thought we were like, we have this awesome real estate package, we're gonna put it online, and people are gonna like, oh, I'll take that.
We do well, and we thought everyone else was gonna wanna learn how to do it, and it's like, oh, it was really kind of a letdown.
Somewhat depressing.
We almost threw in the towel like several times. We paid this guy $20,000 to create this funnel for us, and he said a funnel takes a long time, and it's really involved. And so after 90 days, I finally gave up on the guy, because we were spending $20,000 so far. It was $5,000 a month. It was just ridiculous, and he hadn't done anything. And we'd heard more about Russell, and we knew he had this event coming up, and we're like, okay, we just gotta go. We went, and before that event, we knew he had his Inner Circle coaching program, but we're like, no, we're not. We've been scammed before by other high-ticket sales and stuff like that, and we're not paying for this. And after one day, what did we both do?
We got his book because we've been hearing all about it, and we're like, this Russell guy, he must be amazing. We hear these people and they're having these cool stories, and we get this book, and we couldn't wait because we're super impatient. And so we get the audio, and we're both listening to it, and I'm on the beach running, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. Like, we're not doing any of this. We need all this stuff. But we know there's this Inner Circle group, and we're like, we don't need that. We got this by ourselves. So we're both like, okay, you don't say yes, I don't say yes. Robbie, we're not gonna do this. And so we show up when we see Russell on the stage, and we see Liz, and we see all these guys doing all these really cool things, and we're like, we're somewhat new to the online world.
Yeah,
like,
need some guidance.
Let's figure out exactly how to do it. Let's see the people who are doing it, and let's join this super cool group. And we were sold, we were in.
We had no doubt that he would very shortly help us, our online business turn into a 7-figure business. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt. And it's only been 6 months, but that's the trajectory we're on.
Yeah, so in 6 months, Russell's done for us in that amount of time what it took us 6 years in the real estate world to build. I mean, we've made over $500,000 just in that 6 months. Just joining that Inner Circle group, being able to box Russell. For a long time we went back and forth on, we had this great coaching program. Should we do a high-end coaching program? We're like, no, we don't want to be that guy who sells the thing.
Think it was a thought until we
No, and then we go to this group and everybody's doing all these really neat things, and then we're boxing Russell, and the group is telling us, you need to do this and you can. And so we did it, we tried it. We just threw it out there knowing it was an awesome program, but we were kind of afraid to sell it.
And this was 2.5 months ago.
2.5 months ago.
Coaching program.
We don't have a sales guy. We didn't do the way we sold it perfectly. We're still somewhat new, but we got 13 people to sign up and pay us $25,000, and they're now part of this super sharp group, all because of just joining Inner Circle and being able to be around these people. Because naturally what we do as human beings is we get around these smart, successful people that inspire us, and what do we want to do? Like, I want to fit in, right? Mm-hmm. And so I lift myself and I learn and I stretch and I try to do different things, and that group has done that for us. So now we're like, holy cow, the world's our oyster. We have so many ideas. It's exciting.
Getting to know him and being able to work with him has just been it's been a huge blessing for our life. And now we just tell everybody about him. Like, Russell, he's like this wizard, and he can change your life, and he's a genius, and he's like, oh my gosh. Sometimes they think it's amazing, sometimes they're like, what?
And what I love too is that, we have 3 kids. And so it is very important that I spend time with those kids, and I'm there at their important times. And I feel like this online marketing world, we can systematize it, and we can get people to help us, and I can share and do what we feel like we can do, but I also have freedom to, be with my kids in the morning, take them to their sports, do their homework with them, and spend all that time with them.
This year we know we'll do 7 figures, that's our goal. And to do that in such a short period of time, it's just mind-blowing, and the way that you can scale it, and it's been pretty cool.
All from a guy who couldn't push play on the DVD player on one of our first dates, now to being an online techie guy.
You said you wouldn't bring that up anymore. Gee.
I was almost at the point where I was ready to say, maybe I should go find a job. And that's when I said, no way. There's no way. I was lost, I was letting my business run me. I wasn't running my business. So I needed a coach, and so I found you guys via Facebook where somebody else was already using ClickFunnels, and so I was like, what is this ClickFunnels thing? So I did some investigative work and finally came to ClickFunnels, and I was like, whoa, this is some powerful stuff. I got this software that could totally take my business to the next level, but I'm having trouble using it, like really getting my hands around it. So I'm listening to Russell's podcasts, and all of a sudden he starts talking about this Inner Circle program and this Ignite program. So I was like, I need to be involved in that. If I'm gonna take my business and my life to the next level, I need to be part of that. To really get that coach to diagnose my issues and to come back to me and say, hey, this is where you're struggling, and point me in the right direction. I never had that as a business owner. When I struggle with things or I'm stuck on a topic, I go to my Ignite members and I ask them for help. And that there is priceless, because here's other successful, like-minded individuals like myself, and they have the motivation and drive exactly like I have. So to team up with people like that on projects and stuff is extremely powerful, and provides a tremendous amount of value, to your business. Back when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I joined soccer. I was this little chubby kid, so I guess they put me in the soccer program to help me manage my weight. So anyway, I hated the game. I just did it because my parents wanted me to do it. But I don't know how we did it, but we made it to the championship game that season. And so I remember running up and down the field, and every time the ball would be on one side of the field, I'd be on the other. And every time I would try to get to the ball would be, so anyway, it was a mess. So I'll never forget this. When I remember being in the game, and I remember all the people on the sideline, and the one guy that stood out from all those people was my dad. And I remember him just screaming, go, get the ball. And I looked at him, and I don't know what it was, but it just made me haul ass down the field and get that ball, and I chased the ball down, and sure enough, I scored my first goal ever. And that was a point in my life at such a young age that said, no matter what you do, never give up, because when you never give up, the outcome is always positive, and you'll always be successful. And that was my biggest thing. I said before joining the program, I don't know if I'm gonna get my return, but if I don't do it, I'm gonna be where I'm at. So I said, don't give up, do it. And so I did, and I always keep my father up to date with my business, because he's always worried. He's my dad, so he'll always worry about me. When I told him I made my money back on the program, his text message, he's 75 years old, and he's text messaging me, and he wrote back, wow, so proud of you. And when I got that from him, it just made me, I don't know, I'm speechless, I'm sorry, but it just gave me that confidence and that reassurance that, and I always thought back to that soccer game, that you never give up. Russell's positivity and his team, like Christian and Brent and all those guys, that they all have that same mindset. Never give up, always follow through, always move forward. And to have that support is just tremendous. And I'm very thankful for Russell and his team for helping me.